Question number 85. Question number 85. A block of mass 2 kg is placed on an inclined plane at an angle of inclination 37. See that before doing this question, I had to teach you this particular concept regarding our 37 and 53. In a given right triangle, see any right triangle mo vi ko. Right triangle sida we have this will be 90. Right angle of 90 the remaining two angles must be complementary. Complementary means it must be equal to 90. The sum of these two angles must be 90 type na. We take this to be 37 in the color and this is 53 in the color Z. Yeah, bra. Correct. Ado itara di here 37 plus 53 it will produce 90 in tabra. So that all the angle together will produce 180 degree. Yeah, bra. Yeah, reko. Now simple oina we know from our basic geometry basics we know that the greatest angle will be opposite to the longest side. Longest side to the opposite this will be known as your hypotenuse hypotenuse. This will be the longest because this is opposite to the greatest angle. And which side will be the second longest? Second longest is 53 is the second largest angle. So the side that is opposite to this 53 will be the second longest, and this will be the base verba. This will be our second longest. Yeah, next up is 37. This is the smallest angle or this is perpendicular, and this will be the shortest and I hope you all are familiar with this 3, 4, 5. See mumming 3, 4, 5 they are known as Pythagorean triplet and hybrid. Pythagorean Pythagorean triplet. Why? Because 3 square plus 4 square will be equal to 5 square. The sum of two consecutive terms here 3 square will be 9 tabra. 9 plus 16 is equal to 5 square 25 tabra. So for this shortcut formula will be applicable only for the complementary angle of 37 and 53. 37 ka 53 ka kita chungane mako. It cannot be applied across your 40 and 50. 40 ka 50 is 90 tabra. We cannot apply this concept. Sida panbya de. Hangi ko. Adun nang simple oina kamay lo butare greatest angle se longest natraga greatest side se kamay butare this will be equal to 5x. Yaad ka? Yai ko hai se. Aduga second largest kya no? Second largest will be 4 lakra. This will be 4x. Yaad ka? The side opposite to 53 will be equivalent to 4x. The side equivalent to the side opposite to 90 will be 5x. The side opposite to the smallest angle 37 will be 3x. In short, combine very simple in a net. This is 10. This is 10. This is 10. This is 10 and this is 37 in Kalazi. This is 50. 53 Then what will be the side A, B, C? BC की value क्या था? Without any calculation, what will be the value of BC? What will be the value of AC? क्या था उनसे? We know that this is the 5x का मान हमने throw. That is 5 into 2 any व्यापरा. और multiplier will be 2. Understood right? And 53 के opposite क्या लाएंगे? This is 4 हमला करा. 53 will be 4x, that means this will be 8 and 37 your opposite cannot 3x, that is 3 into 2, that will be 6, this will be 8. Do you understand the concept here? And we can easily find out sine of 37 kya tha. Sine 37 will be equal to perpendicular by hypotenuse, that is 3x divided by 5x. Calculator yaw traditional what ko ngamo sine 37 ki value is defined to grow. It will be very difficult, so we will be using this shortcut trick. Cos of 37 very simple. Cos 37 means base by hypotenuse, that is 4x divided by 5x. Answer this is 4 by 5. यागनी सी फॉर्मुलास में यूज तो बताई हाइगद्रा यानी से खमोनी को Madam Nimana, angle of inclination the pyramid in our particular question number 85, the angle of inclination will be 37 mm pyramid. Anyway, let us read the question. Question 2, Parsi. A block of mass 2 kg is placed on a plane inclined at an angle of 37 with the horizontal. Angle of inclination theta is equal to 37 degree. This is given. Now let us read the remaining part of the question. The coefficient of friction between the block and the surface. The block coefficient of friction there magi mu surface है this is equal to this is mu will be equal to 0.7 similar यात्रा यारे को अदु जानता है उसे what are the different forces that acts on this body see body is the act of this kind of force क्या है act of body let us consider step by step procedure the low shape को what are the external force that is being acted on this body of mass m on the act of this kay lakni normal weight am lakra magi on weight am lai ko this is equal to mg sidam lai re ko magi on weight mg lai now mathang ng class surface na karam force puthogani it will produce two different type of force puthogani number 1 will be the normal direction and normal direction must be perpendicular to the rough surface. See perpendicular organi na agi brother bra. This is normal direction R. Adu C na kay organi sir what must be this angle? Ay nang harang lan halay na strength of reco. We have discussed a very shortcut, very important shortcut. Ama discuss the angle between normal direction and your weight mg for an inclined surface will be equal to angle of inclination ka managi si managi na tro the theta with that this is also again theta that na tra we will be put it as theta equal to 37 degree so that we will be having mg this is cos of 37 understand ka bunga mein yare ko sun ka taraf kya hai already sir we will be having mg this is sine of 37 see understand tawgo ngam de sibok tang hairo just tell me do you understand up to this step what is the only external force that acts on this body the only external force that acts on this body which is over the inclined surface will be its own weight mg which is vertically downward step number 1 hangani ko aduga sile you say weight malere next what are the two different forces malere here is weight sinana weight mg makes an angle theta with the vertical direction with the normal direction the act of nato so this mg when resolved along the direction of normal direction theta semba angle semba mai ke resolve to ta it would be cos of theta perpendicular agana mg sin of theta which we have discussed in the last class yan so we have all together discussed two different forces weight ama discuss tawrba number 2 da magi normal direction ama discuss tawrba tawre ko aldi magi stele ise normal direction is the force produced by the surface sigi surface na produce tawra tawdobra tawbi next ani sugna kai lari external force mg and what is the remaining force karama force ma lemori body jigi tendency din le hodina the body has a tendency to slide down makha slide tongba magi tendency le bro body se the body always try to slide down the inclined surface da ma slide down tongno ko na bra onai surface is smooth la natraga rough la is it smooth or rough oidna rough oibanina it will have frictional force the friction am higher gave frictional force है in up the inclined plane. So do you get the concept here? Basena, do you understand up to here? Since the body has a tendency to slide down the inclined plane, we must consider the frictional force developed due to this rough nature. Rough this surface will produce another set of force produce the that will be the frictional force. Don't forget this. Surface na smooth smooth horizontal surface smooth inclined surface it will be acted only by two different force, that is mg normal direction r under that consideration we will be having mg cos of theta over here and only mg sin of theta. Under this condition the body will be sliding down. Understand the way? However, surface na produce for the smooth surface, for smooth inclined surface, it will produce only the normal direction r. However, in our question number 85, this is rough oibanina. It will produce two different type of force. Number one will be the normal direction, and second force will be the frictional force F. Understand the reco? Now let us consider normal direction. For every question related to friction, our first step is to find out normal direction. Normal direction to find out just tell me what will be the normal direction. My normal direction is R will be equal to, this is mg cos of 37. Then we have this one, R is equal to mg cos of 37. We can put the value of cos 37 let it be sikona thamuko. Now, let us read the remaining part of the question. Before copying this, just tell me, will the body be under motion or will the body be at rest? Do we have two conditions? Yes, we can have two conditions where this body will be sliding down this rough surface. Rough surface the slide down. Possible case number one. And if the friction which is acting up the inclined plane is more than the mg sin 37 if frictional force is greater than this downward acting component, the body will be at rest even though it is placed on the inclined surface. Inclined surface see, this is inclined surface. Slide over set. Do you understand the concept here? We have to check whether mg sin theta is greater than frictional force. Mg sin theta is more than the frictional force, the body will be sliding down. If not, the body will be still at rest. Understand the way? Now let us read the question number 8. Number 8 on the parsi. What will be the frictionless frictional force on the block? Frictionless hay na tiko motionless hay do ba otho meaning ama ithok thok tere ko motionless hay do ba mangi mass se mg kya no 2 kg mp banatra adang tang yengo se motion da lai ke hay tari what must be the basic criteria for the body to remain at rest over this inclined surface. Inclined surface the rest the upward acting force must be exactly equal to the downward acting force. We must have this frictional force. This frictional force it must be exactly equal to mg. This is sine of 37. Understand the way? This is equal to mu mg and frictional force to the this is cos of 37 yabra the man frictional force ma have natro frictional force ha bolam ji our frictional force will be mg sin of theta magi mg kya no this is 2 ma pibra pire and magi g value to 10 na approximately we assume the value of g to be 10 in a lobby and sin 37 what is the value of sin 37 sin 37 क्या आता है 3/5 था बरा 3/5 हम जीरो 3/5 लोग का रंदी साइकिल से this is 12 कम था बरा 12 11.2 हम जाओ 9.8 लोग के ये नसी को आई मानस द डायरेक्ट फिल्म दे ना 12 serum 11.2 फिल्म बनता we take the value it is value जैसे क्या लोगे 9.8 लोगे ये नसी 9.8 into this is 3/5 कैलकुलेटर अंदर हम हाँ पगे नसी क्या ताकि तो 3 into 9.8 into 2 58 this will be 58.8 divided by 5 11.76 am tare approximately ta dabra tare khangani ko now mathang number b do ko combine hai number b sida amu hangista kari hare what will be the force applied by the frictional force on the block hangise kaino what is being asked in the question sida hangise kaino sida lan no me sorry aina e the soy room legre ko sida it must be number a is minus e the friction the together the our friction will be equal to mu r ta da ये इसको mu की value से क्या ना this is 0.7 we have to take the consideration of सीमा खंग बताए mg cos of theta आप लाख रहा mg is 2 g की value से क्या ना this is 9.8 into नंगी g की value 9.8 हम हाफ पे को cos of 37 क्या आता है 4/5 में ताप रहा this is 4/5 हम तो ये को value से now this is 54.88 divided by 5 इसमें क्या आता है 10.976 अदुसे तुम almost equivalent to 11 सिकी चराना में दे तुम ताकरा ता ताकरा हमारा पीरी सीधा क्या क्या पिरामिड 11.2 है हमको 19.53 है हमको पीरा अदुदी चेक तौरगे यंगसी फिर लास्ट में होटल में तंदा यार इसे हपें चला कौन दी माय वैल्यू दी माना इधर ना यंगसी anyway नंबर बी तक एक माना हम इसे inclined surface now produce the river force क्या produce the what are the two different force produced by this inclined surface मागी normal direction r में पुतोपरा this is frictional force f में produce the उरा तो इको अल्टी we calculate both सिगी my value से महाल whole सिगी दी क्या तावा सिगी mu r और माग r की value से क्या तागी this is 2 into this is 9.8 into cos 37 की value से क्या ना this 4/5 tabra 4/5 see you understand the we got the simple way 9 honey is okay now we have this 90 degree over here What is being asked in the question number B? Question number B the hang is very simple ni. In mana hang is we have to find out the resultant frictional force produced by the surface. What is the total force produced by the surface? The surface will produce two different types of force produced over. Number one is the reaction. Number two will be the frictional force. Natra. The mobile is 90 the eight we go. What is the resultant or what is the net force? The net force will be this is Ketaba F resultant in the tabro. And yesterday we have already find out. So this is perpendicular with that. This can be minus idama. From here to here, this will be the F resultant, and this will be our R. From here to here, this is F. So can we have F resultant is equal to root over R square base square plus hypotenuse square plus F square. Do you understand up to here? Now very simple according to our law of friction, mu is equal to F is equal to mu R. Therefore can we put it as R square plus mu square R square and can we have this one? According to law of friction, our frictional force will be equal to mu R. We simply put the value this is R into root over 1 plus mu square. You just put the value and you will get the answer for option number B. R की value is क्या ना? We have calculated over here. अदो mu की value क्या पीरे? R into this is root over 1 plus this will be 0.7 holding square. You will calculate the value, you will get the answer. Yeah, multiplication है तो इसी प्लस नहीं multiplication तो बड़े ध्यान से काटला question number 87. Question number 87 is the question what is being given in the question. Question number 87. Question number 86 है theoretical question निको. It will be exactly equal to question number 1. It is very long calculation, so I will just explain. I explain करते you have to memorize the question and answer the memorize तो करो. Yeah, bra. I simply explain the question number 86 है theoretical question नेबा. Formula đó na hapong mo do ni. Anyway, a body of the mass m rests on a horizontal floor. What is the nature of the floor? Nang na paba matam dana you read the question very carefully. Nang gi floor natraga surface to is it horizontal or is it inclined? Mana pyramid is kay pyramid. It is horizontal surface. Yareko. A body of mass m rests on the horizontal surface. What is the coefficient of friction? The coefficient of friction is mu equal to mu ne na pire ko. It is desired to make the body move by applying the minimum possible force. Adi mana apply to the force to ngarang kari na hagi pulling ka pushing ka dikarane ngali. Which one is more useful? Pulling case hai natra, and pulling must not be done horizontally. So I na pull to where abra jati. It must be pulled at some angle with respect to the vertical. So vertical the with respect to the spinal angle lamada pull to right abra F, and this must be angle theta. Do you understand this or not? Yesterday we have already done this, and this F must be minimum minimum force after the minimum energy will be used. We can easily pull the object. Do you understand? Now object minimum effort, if we can displace the object, then that will be favorable for us. What must be the minimum force that is to be applied on this horizontally placed object so that it can move very easily? Yeah, bra. Question understand the reko? Yeah, see. Magi force to kya hoy again? We have to find out the what is the expression? What must be the force? Magi force to kya hoy so that this body of the mass m, which is kept on the horizontal surface hai, sida apply to the minimum force to kya aata nahi, and we have to find out the direction of its application. Force to angle kya de apply to nahi, that is very simple. Correct ko? We will be having sida kai legita hai. Karam ka polynomial lakani f cos of theta, yeah, and this will be f sin of theta lakra. Diagram di ekira seva liya ka thumam seva. Aduga due to this applied force, it has a tendency to move to the right hand side, so the frictional force will be in this direction, one direction. Chalani, and what will be the weight? Weight si kailani. This is mgm lakra, and the normal direction produced will be in this direction. R amatabata bro. This is R. Gyan tare? Hangani? Understand tawag nga men? Aldi ko na laki condition je R is R plus F cos of theta will be, what is the total force in the upward direction? Normal direction produced by the surface, and we have another component F cos theta along the vertical direction along with normal direction. Like R plus F cos theta in the upward direction. Downward direction we have mg. From there we find out R is equal to mg minus F cos theta. And what must be the condition for the body to have motion? Motion like F sin theta must be greater than F. After all the calculation is done, nangi F minimum se kya aata gani? It must be greater than equal to option number 1, mu mg divided by rho over 1 plus mu square. This will be our answer. I manage the intermediate calculation. We simply understand what is the requirement for the body to have the motion with less effort. Man, yam kanna force applied to the vida salan gaita di, the minimum force must be equal to this mass. Yadra. lore ko sida mana piri sida pira question number 87 sida yango for this question number 87 a body of the mass 5 kg is placed on a rough horizontal surface ma pire its coefficient of friction is 1 by root over 3 the rough organina it will have its own coefficient and mu will be equal to 1 by root over 3 ma pire find what pulling force should be applied on the body at an angle 30 degree to the horizontal. Sidadi process one kata you just look over here. When angle se kya tha apply ta with respect to vertical ama lak natra. But for your question number 87, it is particularly mentioned in your question that this force F must be inclined at angle 30 degree with respect to the horizontal. Understand the question to now we represent this diagram should represent the F cos of 30 degree angle in the direction of angle it must be cos component perpendicular to we must be having F sine of 30 degree. Do you understand the change in the pattern? My pattern was a khangi ko yarani. Now we have normal direction aduga mg sidam direct. What is being asked in the question mara question da basically hanno find what pulling force, that means we have to find out the value of capital F external force find out to so that the body just begin to move. What do you mean by just begin to move? Which condition are we going to consider? Body is that means externally supplied force must be exactly equal to the maximum friction. About to move like limiting condition are not true. Limiting condition means F cos of 30 degree must be equal to the frictional force. Do you understand this? Now we find out F is equal to F cos of 30 degree. This is the component of the force that is responsible for the production of motion. Motion is produced about to move this externally applied force must be exactly equal to the frictional force within a drop F. Understand tamungami F city ke manani this is equal to mu r ka manabra manada bro. Now how to find out your r plus F sine of 30 degree will be equal to mc. Sika where dekho you must take the total forces in the upward direction equal to total force in the downward direction. Manana logudobani r will be equal to kya manani this is mg minus F sine of 30 degree. Simi abra yare. Now very simple in our mind hard betare we put it as F is equal to F की वैल्यू से क्या ना mg minus F is equal to mu r. What is the value of mu? My value of mu is क्या था रे 1 by root over 3 था अपना तो 1 by root over 3 तो r की वैल्यू this is mg minus this is F sine of 30 degree में थम्बे आपरा now c की होता है F की वैल्यू से क्या ना that is 1 by root over 3 into what is the value of m mc की वैल्यू से क्या ना this is 2 में था आपरा 2 रखा है तो फिर इधर मास तो 5 फिर को we put it as 5 acceleration due to gravity है we take or we consider it to be 10 in the lower c 10 in the lower c को this is 10 minus F this is to be find out aduga sin 30 ai 30 can we put it as 1 by 2 simi agana divided by makha da kai lakani se cos of 30 degree ma pra cos 30 degree ai 30 what is the value of cos 30 degree root 3 by 2 this is root over 3 divided by 2 me apra can we have this one yariko CO की calculation देखा मैंने कल है और here we will be having 2 by 3. Do you understand this step? दूसरा मतलब तो सब किधर ना? So 3 is like that root 3 into root 3 it will be 3. Okay? अदो का सीधा लास्ट इसका this will be 100 minus F divided by 2, and this get cancel out. See cancel sakre. We will be having C kaiga mana batare F mathambiro. This will be nangi 3F is equal to 100 minus F. We will be having F is equal to 25. Transfer formula is na 25. Question number 90 and 96 है. The diagram is very familiar with us. कोई familiar with it ना? We have already done with respect to the smooth surface. Smooth surface, the pulley system. I have already discussed two vertical hanging object from a pulley and one vertical along with one horizontal over a pulley. We have discussed the break. Now forget about this friction. Just tell me what will be the acceleration for this particular case, considering the surface of the table to be smooth. Smooth oiramba taragadi. Antang airo as a reminder. Antang airo kana hagige. Krishna kant antang airo hibrege. Acceleration A will be equal to क्या माना है नहीं? क्या माना था के? बाबरे. अरे संख्या आiro hibrege. MB minus 0. Minus intentionally on half niko. If the surface is smooth, we will be considering only the mass that is responsible for the motion, vertical mass. And what about your horizontal mass? The horizontal mass will be neutralized by the normal direction produced by the surface. Surface na produced to cancel out to bani hagi ko. Jantai ko divided by total mass te hagi MA plus MB into G na hagi right bro. That means when we have to find out the acceleration for one horizontal and one vertical, then our acceleration will be provided that the surface will be smooth. Surface is smooth. The vertical mass is responsible for the production of motion. So vertical mass minus 0, because there will be no opposition to the motion. Therefore, we have to take it as 0 divided by total mass. While considering the total mass, we cannot ignore the horizontal along with the vertical, MA plus MB into G. This was our formula. Jantai, sikhanga niko. Next, consider this to be again smooth ko. Smooth hoita the next kana hagige. One must be the acceleration here. In this C ki diagram study, we don't have the exact value of B. However, C we have the exact value 15 kg and the 5 kg and we have another 5 kg which is placed horizontally and it is connected in between two pulley in the connector ura taure adu dakta hairo Florence hai bhai gadra. What must be the acceleration here? Kana which one is heavy? Smooth we will not be considering the horizontal mass to consider the right. Which one is heavier? Kana heavier one? 15 is heavier or Vinatra? The mass responsible for the production of motion will be 15. So 15 minus which mass will be opposing 5 divided by total mass. Total mass will be 15 plus 5. Is it enough? No. We have to consider the horizontal mass. We have to consider the whether the drop into G. G value will be 10. 10 and it will be kya? This is 10 divided by this is 25 into this is 10. So after cancellation, this is 2, this is 5 and this is 2. That means 4 meter per second square. This is how we find out our common acceleration in our smooth surface. Provided that two vertically hanging object, one vertically hanging object. Antang magi tension sidang ta hayo se hydrenge. Next na tension amo hayo. In your question number 90, smooth surface on long tension A will be equal to. You just tell me what will be the formula. Will MB move upward or downward? Upward circle or downward circle? aina nahan takla swaina hai gi bhai da bro vertical hoita di cd magi legi weight se mag will be neutralized by normal direction if the surface is smooth over the it will produce only the normal direction and this normal direction will neutralize the weight to neutralize the weight adu itani horizontally there is no opposition of the electromina due to this tension P this body A will be freely moving along the right hand side the circle you have that and your MB will be falling down or will be moving downward and our tension will be very simple. If any object is moving downward, the apparent weight increases or decreases. Decrease is na. What will be the formula? MB and this will be G minus A. This was our formula. Hangi ko. Now, so na kandam class how to find out T1? T1 की value check करें हाइरो. So me ऐसे हाई ट्राइंग और T1 check मैं हारा नहीं. सिकरों तो सकनी. Your acceleration will be common acceleration will be towards the left or towards the right. Karana heavy हो गया नीचे 15 heavy हो बनता और 15 will be moving downward मका तुमरा अतुगा 5 सिना कई लानी माथे का काबरा का दबरा कारे और very simple T1 तो क्या है टी this is 5 into क्या लानी उसे 5 into as the body is moving upward there will be increase in the weight. So it will be G value cannot G plus AML after the draw. What is the value of G? The value of G is 10 plus acceleration is 4. Therefore this will be 5 into 14. क्या आता है? 90 था बरा? 70 था वो माले को? This will be 70 Newton. And T2 की value से क्या आता नहीं? इलिना है रो हमेंगे. T2 as the body 15 kg as the 15 kg body is descending downward makha kumabnina mag weight to decrease taura therefore it will be 15 into this is 10 minus kya lakni what is the common acceleration this is 4 very simple 15 into kya bata rahe this is 8 I know oh 6 हम लाख रहा अभी सीधी क्या आता है 30 90 daga 90 this is how we calculate under smooth condition is fine what can rewind lo reko aina si rewind tai setting na teba nang friction ki dadine we have to change the condition lo change the body hairani ko se sino ko copy to ningi no यारे ने कॉपी तो गेसु तोक्सलो सिने स्मूथ किने थमम को this is not the actual calculation for your question number 90 and 96 की नते question number 90 and the 96 है if question number 96 and 90 were considered as the question based on your smooth surface की रमता दी we will be having this type of calculation लाकने for the rough surface की वही तारा कर दिए ngasi for this question number 90 we will be just discussing about the general condition for a rough surface हम दिए ngasi सीधा motion से करो हम तो लेंगे नहीं let us read the question जो पार्टी में मांगते हैं let us assume that this MB will be dragging down under normal condition under smooth condition MB this is the vertical object and this vertical object will try to move in the downward direction as mana si downward direction sa taradi the body has a tendency this horizontal body which is placed on this rough surface the tamanatra it has a tendency to move in which direction in the right hand direction sa tab hona bra my tendency di laidana inclined toward the body has a tendency the particular body A has a tendency to move to the right hand direction so friction will be opposite to the tendency this is friction force F understand tawre yaar ni ko rasai ko friction consider to ura do we consider the frictional force in our smooth surface consider to deko however in our rough surface however the horizontal surface is rough oibanina our friction is to be considered towards the left hand side and we will be having this is mg and this is our normal direction R ama tabra yare. Do you understand the modification of our diagram modification dikhanga ba hani ko. What will be the normal direction? R will be equal to, this is mg in high bra. Our friction will be equal to kya tarani simana pide mu ma p bro mu ju p ko. Our f will be equal to mu r and this will be equal to mu mg yare. Adudi clear kar one antang lowers. Let us summarize over here the antang lowers conclusion check. Which force is responsible for the motion? Kana maram moidino se MBG will try to drag the object in the vertical direction. Makha da chingdana ko na se kana na oidino MBC na oidro oidra oidani. Kya tai ko se I is the acceleration the downwards minus EB1 hai ko. This is the general consideration. This is not the actual calculation. Na teko. This is not the answer for your question number 90. I have skipped the theory section for pulley system for rough surface ke na takhi deva question plus theory pulap takni na. I am discussing about the theory section. Theory section ni next after understanding the theory section we will be doing your question number 90 takhi deva. Yai ko sidalai bisida award we simply assume that this MB is the force that is responsible for dragging or for producing the motion in the downward direction, and the mass or the force that is responsible for the motion se kana hoigani MBG am lakra. Like which one will be opposing the motion? Frictional force am lakra. We do have the same extension of our shortcut formula. Common acceleration te kya lani? Very simple hoina. What is the force responsible for the motion? MBG lakra. MBG will be the force responsible minus which force will be opposing? Frictional force F divided by total mass. Total mass will be nangi MA plus MB. This will be the theory section. Kya takatra yarani ko ai sidlawi se the main high mass taka high na te ko mass high gya tarati which mass will be responsible. Let me extend this over again. MB into sida pelakni G minus this is mu mg am lakra divided by MAG. This is MAG. So this is MAG yapra yari ko divided by MA plus MB. So if we have to conclude in terms of mass, we get the mass that is responsible for the production of motion MB minus the multiplication of coefficient of friction along with the mass that is placed on the rough surface. क्या आता है MA ताब्रता दबरो MA divided by this is MA plus MB multiplied with कनारा तारानी से क्या कहता स्मूथ की वजह ना करी है कि the force that is responsible for the motion minus the mass that is responsible for the motion minus the opposing mass divided by total mass into G for the smooth ढंगे को for our friction की वजह ना कदी के बता रहा है the mass responsible for the motion which is usually the vertically hanging object की mass MB minus the mass which is kept on the rough surface MA minus the coefficient multiplied with the coefficient of friction. Finish. This will be opposing A will be opposing MB will try to produce the motion divided by total mass into G. Masai friction oragana si yaw de na smooth oragana frictionless oragana it will be MB minus MA divided by when a log general concept ke logi mass responsible for the motion minus opposing mass jantai ko divided by total mass into G for our smooth condition. Now if we extend over the friction over the rough surface we will have the same concept mass that is responsible for the motion MB minus mass with friction, that is ma. For the friction, for the rough surface, we have to multiply with coefficient of friction. That's enough. Yagadra? Understand the Wungamiko? Now we have to go through. This is the theoretical section. It's in a theoretical section, Nico. You don't have to copy this. Sinjai or Sijo. Siluruda. See, copy to Ningiraba. Toming is the tower. Seeing as it, let us read the actual question. Magi question to Parasico. Side key to Tabir again. Side key man and Yabuko. See, acceleration of okay. But the acceleration, this acceleration will not be mentioned in your question. Question that mentioned Toromoibo. Simple. Let us read the question. Question 90 to understand how to see. Man, here is a two block of mass A and B are arranged in the figure. Figure appears minus arranged. One is placed on the horizontal rough surface. Another is placed or another is hanging vertically. The mass of A is 20 kg and the coefficient of friction between the body A and the horizontal surface is 0.3. The horizontal surface is rough. The coefficient of friction is given as 0.3. Now, the minimum mass of B to start the motion will be. What is being asked here? We have to find out the mass of B so that it start motion. Motion just start to motion start to what will be the direction? Direction to the B will be moving downward and A will be moving to the right hand direction. Laknatra. Man is a minimum hangra. Minimum hangtadi. We have to consider the limiting case. Minimum had limiting confusing the minimum mass of B that can produce the that can produce the motion of A. A is motion produced the Natra. The body A is about to move, it will be the limiting condition. So suppose example in after calculation, I will interpret the whole understanding of your question 90 you may understand here MB will be the hanging mass will be acted upon by two different forces. One will be the weight which is acting vertically downward and another will be the tension. We usually take the tension away from the body. Very simple logic. When the body A is about to move, will the body be under motion? Body B say, will it be moving downward? Connected system that whenever one body is at rest, another body must be also at rest. Very simple concept. When the body A is about to move, this is still at rest. That means B will be also about to start motion. But still it will be at rest. Whenever A start moving in the right hand side, B will be moving downward. But we have to consider the condition where A is about to move. A is about to move with B is also about to move vertically downward. Still, this will be at rest. Sisu rest the mass of the piece na slightly increase the frictional force will be overcome by the tension T. The tension T is the it will be moving downward and this will be sliding over here. Do you get the concept here? Very simple. This is the hanging condition. Now we will be having our vertical section. This is horizontal section. For vertical section, this is hanging condition. For for hanging condition the tension T must be exactly equal to MBG and tagada taroidra. Gyan tare? Understood to bro? Then consider to say we have to find out the minimum mass of B so that the body is about to have the body A is about to have motion to the right hand side in the hybeneva. See the number low you say heavy over taradi C20 over say this is 50 kg already. Even though we have a frictional force it can easily overcome MBG. The weight of this hanging mass is more than the frictional force. Frictional force tagi it can easily have motion like abra. Yeah. Hanganiko. Man question na what is being asked in the question? We have to find out the minimum mass where body B is about to have motion. Yeah, dabra. Question to read try to understand what I am explaining. The body B is about to have motion. You know, the minimum mass of B to start the motion. Minimum mass about the minimum mass of B to start the motion. See motion B must be greater than equal to and half जो आरे बा सी मैं happy रखे को एक greater than half तार में गाँव बने ना सी की limiting केसा half कोई वानी सीधे जब 5 kg होता है it is about to slide down 6 kg होता है it will be sliding down anyway सीधे नंग लोगी रो this is for particle condition नंबर ले रहे now so the like this kind of this tension T will be also exactly equal to नंगी सी जो रेस्ट लेता है then we have T equal to F C का माना भैया अपना बड़ा इंटेल की C की कंडीशन से माना भैया अपना तब रो यार नहीं को this body A will be also about to move मास move तो भी नहीं आवा और the tension T will remain same तब माना रबी ना this will be equal to कनाल माना वा M B C will be equal to mu M A this is mu M A G mà tạo ra ra được không? Giờ tay có this G and the G get cancel out and we have to find out MB. MB will be equal to mu से क्या ना? What is the value? What is the value of our coefficient of friction? 0.7, 0.3 into this is 20. That means we will be having 6 kg. हम ताप रहा 6 kg out रहा तो bro. यार ये इतना very simple हो इन्हें to copy to this is very hard for you to understand. Karigumba MB is 6 kg over it is about to have motion have never. Is 7 kg if MB is 7 kg without any opposition, MB that is weight of this hanging object will easily produce the motion. But motion will produce the trap. 6 tagi more easily it will produce motion. But 6 will be the last. 6 na it should be the minimum minimum mass of the hanging object so that it is about to produce motion. Motion produced to 6 kg is the limitation within a drop. Final minimum mass is 6 within 5 with the 5 kg. This will be hanging, this will be at rest, this will be at rest. Hangani ko, adudi nang hadi 6 kg we must have at least hangani ko, at least 6 kg of hanging mass so that it is most likely to perform or most likely to undergo motion. Motion lehan ge hai taradi 6 kg. Jam drabada minimum the 6 kg thambe 6.1 with 30, 6.5 with 30 it will undergo motion. Naman kaniya. Yarniko, do you understand the concept here? So we take the limiting condition. Minimum ko hai minimum hanging mass we must take the limiting condition. Limiting condition of this horizontal mass. The horizontal mass is about to move and this hanging mass is also about to move. Yagadra? Yareko, about to move we will have the given condition, given requirement. So, so Now copy to selo simple hoy na, let me interpret in one last line that interpret okay. We must have at least 6 kg so that the whole system is about to undergo motion. If the mass of if the hanging mass is more than 6 kg, it can easily produce motion. Motion do easily produce to yani. Mana easily produce to bagi condition na te manang ise minimum har natro. Habdi aina sigi pen se kya pire 30 rupees pi natra. I must have at least 30 rupees in order to buy this pen. Yai ko. What is the minimum mass? The minimum mass should be 6 kg. Aina 30 rupees like that. I will be about to buy the pen. Yeah, bra. Aina 40 rupees like that. I can easily buy it. Yeah, ko. Adu kucham manam condition da when the system is about to move, we will have the minimum hanging mass. That is the conclusion. Understand the Hangani ko. Now let us do your question number 96. Antang hayo se sidadi very simple hoy na 15 kg and 5 kg yun na leko. Sida su sama nahi. Magi tendency se karon da lege. Antang hayo you have to understand logically this horizontal body, this horizontal mass 5 kg which is kept on the horizontal rough surface will move in which direction, to the left or to the right. Magi tendency se karon da lege ni. Sida ay na haningi se sige horizontal 5 kg yam thamidana. Magi tendency se this 5 kg mass which is placed on this horizontal surface will have a tendency to move to the left or to move to the right. Karam ho yini to the left. That's it. Chalo ito. Yan tay ko. Since it has a tendency to move to the left hand side of the taradi, our frictional force will be kanong chalani will be to the right. This is frictional force F. Understand to ko ngambra? Do you understand the concept or not? Sime khangi ko. Very simple enough. We have to extend our concept. We concept to extend to zero. What would be the weight? Mass weight this is equal to nagi 5 g na yung hota e again 5 into g value 10. This is normal direction R. Ado itadi friction force F will be equal to what is the coefficient of friction? Mana pila misite ke na hangi siya 0.2 ohm pi bra 0.2 ohm pi reko si yaad rahe ho se mu R equal to mc ka mana natra mu की वैल्यू क्या नो 0.2 mass क्या नो 5 kg and acceleration due to will be 10. Therefore we will be having 10 adum tabra our friction force will be 10. Therefore ये कैसे what will be the common acceleration? मान common acceleration से क्या आता नहीं इतना है ना सी I bring के सिद्धांत है से before understanding this what is the force responsible for the motion? Kanana motion de putoki no 15 na lakh na tro ma 15 hoita this will be 150 ma tabra ta dabra 150 newton. Do you understand this? Hagani ko so na kanana kailama hanging mass na this is 50 tabra 50 plus 10 it will be 60 tai ko ai hanging sa tem kana te your 150 will try to produce the motion and this 150 Newton of force will try to produce the motion, whereas this hanging 50 Newton, hanging 50 Newton of weight along with the frictional force equal to क्या कमाना है? What is the value of the frictional force F? क्या कमाना है? This is equal to 10 नंबर आपरा. The 10 and the 50 will try to oppose the motion. Under see you forget about this. Friction to forget the zero. You have two hanging mass, natra. Hanging mass or the force responsible for the motion minus force that is opposing. Kanana motion putoi 150 try to produce the motion. Haganiko. And this 50 Newton will try to oppose the motion. In addition to this opposition produced by 50 Newton, 50 Newtons na magi produced the opposition. In addition to this opposition, there will be another opposition produced by the rough surface, which is equal to 10 lakra. Altogether 60 opposition will be there and 150 will be producing the motion. Understand the way? Yeah, bro. And here very simple way na. What is the force that is responsible for the motion? 150. 150 le reko. Minus what are the opposing force? My opposing force is this will be moving downward, this will be moving upward. Here can we have this as 50? This is, let us take this as MA below. This is MB in Kalasi. Yabra. Yaiko Harise. Simukauranu. Which mass is responsible for the motion? That is MA, and the weight will be MAG. MAG. Yaiko. MAG. This is the force responsible for the motion minus what are the opposing force? My opposing force can have MBG. This is MBG. MBG. And what will be the another opposing force? The another opposing force will be the frictional force produced by the rough surface. Total mass MA plus MB plus MC. Yagadra. This is MC in the MC equal to 30 kg. Understand the way, abra? Yareko. Or the MAG is this is 150 minus what is the hanging opposition mass? That is 50 Newton. 50 plus what is the frictional force? That is 10 divided by total mass. Total mass will be 15 plus 5 plus 5. Answer will be 150 to 60 90 tabra. 90 tareko. This will be 90 divided by this will be 20 tabra. 25. 25 tareko. The cancellation total 90 is already 18 number tabra. 18 divided by 5 tabra. We get our acceleration. Why do we find out this acceleration? Acceleration find out in order to find out the tension T1 and T2. T1 and T2 ko find out to have. T1 की वैल्यू से क्या होनी? हाइड्रो से हाइड्रेंगे. नंगी T1 से this is connected to 5 kg hanging mass का connect तोड़ा तोइको. अभी 5 kg hanging mass है. Is it moving upward or downward? मखा सकता मखा चप्रा मखा चलिको. अभी it will be क्या माननी से? This is equal to Nangi MB into this is G plus common acceleration A divided by T2. T2 Hartarati Nangi this T2 is connected to the 15 kg hanging mass. 15 kg hanging mass the mass connect over. The body will be moving downward, so we will be having MA and this will be G minus A. Do you understand up to this step? Sikhangi ko. It's very simple now. Why do we need our common acceleration in order to have the shortcut for T1 and T2. Tension T1 and T2 to we have to first find out the common acceleration. Yadra? Krishnakanta Khangi ko? Williamson Yari ko sigo? Do you understand up to here? What is the mass mv? 5 lakra into what is the acceleration? This is 10 plus what is the acceleration due to gravity? 10. What is the common acceleration? This is 18 by 5 divided by what is the mass of A? This is 15 into this is 10 minus 18 by 5. This will be 1 by 3. 1 by 3 into 50 plus 18, this will be 68 divided by 5. Can we have this one? Yeah, iko 50 plus 18 68 तारे को. Next is 50 minus 18 क्या आता है? 50 minus 18, that will be, this is 32 ताबरा. 32 तारे को 32 divided by 5. See this is 5 get cancel out and we are left with 68 divided by 96 ताबरा. Cancel out होगा P ब्रा. Ma reduce form the P bro कहीं दे P के. Reduce form the P बो मान लिखो. Seventeen ले आ ब्रा. 17 4. Okay. 17 by 24 ताबा को. 4 1. Ya ini 4 nak kata uro ne 4 kata gue abra ada bro si 24 ta bro hai di ne 68 hai ta raga di se 68 sida 4 nak kata utari this is 4 ones are 4 amle record this is 2 8 17 namata record ado sida di 25 4s are 100 tai na minus 1 utari 24 that means 17 by 24 hai gedra understand the record concept से खंगनी someone about logic निकुना policy shortcut formula will remain mass that is responsible mass or the force that is responsible for the motion minus total total opposing force divided by total mass. That is the concept. Anyway, let us do your question number 98. 98 apa tu memang kita ni 102 की diagram tu ni चलो. Nothing for this question number 102, what must be the tension in the string? The basic understanding is kind of basic understanding the body has a tendency to slide down the inclined surface. Inclined surface ma slide down in order to keep it at rest. We must have a support. My support slide what must be the tension T? This is question mark. Do you understand? Do you understand the question or not? I think I'm slide down to Dinatra. Sida slide down to Gilay slide to Dureva. The man Mahapaga, Molama Puro, Sida point over Tamtari, even though it has a tendency to slide down, the tendency of sliding down is overcome by the tension. Tension Tauri Duna support of rock Tauri. Yaiko Manas Nanda get Tauri Neva, but Nanda get Tauri Duna Pedotare. Then it will support the or it will oppose the tendency to slide down so that the body is at rest over this inclined surface. Understand the question? Now let us do the question. Simple in a mag weight we will be having mg sine of 30 degree. This will be the component of the weight that is responsible for the production of its tendency to slide down. Slide down one of the mg sine of theta is responsible for sliding down. Next time weight this is equal to mg cos of 30 degree. This is normal direction r. Can I skip this? Portion skip the you should always consider mg cos theta opposite to the normal direction. For any inclined surface, the component mg cos of theta must be opposite to the normal direction. This is step number 1. You can go through the proper way. Proper way is the below. This is your 30 degree. See, you shouldn't be confusion. It has a tendency to slide down the vertical planes. Slide down to here our frictional force will be in this direction. Then now normal direction normal direction r will be equal to r it will be mg this is cos of 30 degree mg की वैल्यू क्या नो 1 kg mass नट्रा g की वैल्यू 10 नमा इबे abra cos 30 degree की वैल्यू क्या आता है root 3/2 की ताबरा root 3/2. That means सीधा secant section कितना दी this is 5 into root 3 की वैल्यू क्या माने 1.7 का माना ना. Let us put it as 1.7. The nangi 1.85 Newton namali record. Then friction di kya tarani? Friction will be equal to mu r. My mu is kya no sir? What is the mu? Six point eight Newton. The frictional force. This is 6.8 Newton. Understand alright? Now, when I check this mg sin theta value क्या माने mg sin of 30 degree. My value क्या था? See, this is 1 into g value is there. See meaning calculation this see the lower level. What will be the correct answer and what is the meaning of this calculation? My friction से क्या है? What is the friction? The total available friction is 6.8 natra. And what is the external agent that tries to produce the motion? Motion से produce करना बा generate करना बा external agent से क्या नो? that is only 5 Newton over. This 5 Newton of external force can be easily overcome by the friction force na overcome to bro. That is, this rope is not required. Even though we take this out, see the body will be still at rest. Do you understand the concept here? Downward acting force. This is the downward acting force. Downward acting force is more than is less than the friction. The friction can easily hold the downward acting force. We do not require the tension T. Even though we remove this string, the body of 1 kg will be still at rest. So that tension T will be equal to 0. Do you understand the conclusion? Conclusion is this simple. Our frictional force F set, this is greater than downward acting force, that is mg sine of 30 degree. This will be still at rest. We don't require. See conclusion is string is not required. String is required. String yok to tara to my friction to support string like the tension will be equal to 0. I have a conclusion. Mg sin theta mg sin theta value 10 kala में खल सेवा याद रखो. If the tension, if the downward acting force है 10 बता रहा. If mg sin theta comes out to be 10 होता रहती, this string will help to keep the body at rest. मागी 6.8 अम्म ले जा रहे. आई ढानी की जैसी निका 6.8 अम्म ले जा रहा. क्या वाली rest ले गया था रहती. मागी C string down बता रहती. सिना 10 है ना कलो. This is 6.8. The body will be sliding down. Okay. अदु इतारती we need कना दरकार तारे. We need a string to hold it. Hold हो गया. That is 6.8 and this will be 3.2. The tension develop will be 3.2. Do you get the concept here? Yeah, go. No, what about now? What about that? Question number 1. Question number 98 sima last one namtang hot sira. 98 sima last question namtang rasiko. I need sira andra. Sina 102 gini ko question jayega la na hai gre. This should be your 102. See question na 102. Without reading the question, inclined surface की अम्मगी होता रहती है. Very simple होना. Forget everything. नंगा down the inclined plane, we will be having क्या लाखनी से capital MG sin of theta. याद आपरा perpendicular to the surface, inclined surface, normal direction, and opposite to it, we will be having M, capital Mg, cos of theta. Hello.